Hello drone video fans, and welcome back. This video was taken at Hell Hollow Metro Park, and it shows what happens to the DJI Spark when it loses GPS signal. This is a look at the steps leading some 200 plus feet down into this canyon, where you can see the Payne Creek running down there through the canyon. It's surrounded on either side by lots of cliffs. We got the Spark here sitting on some rocks, and just armed it and took off and spent a couple of seconds getting it into a tripod mode, which is very stable. And then we were gonna fly up and down this Payne Creek that runs through Hell Hollow, and I think that they got its name because if you ever had to go down like 250 steps to get down to this level, and then trying to climb back up them, it's definitely a good description. So you see the Payne Creek running here. It's very scenic, and I was hoping to get some real nice cinematic shots, which is why I put it into tripod mode, because it operates very stable. But right from the beginning, I took off. I had like 8 satellites locked in. When you're down this low and you've got cliffs on either side, it kind of blocks out some of your GPS reception, and I figured, well, worst case, it'll go into attitude mode, which it did several times. You can see it drifting left and right here, and it means that you have to fly it manually, which I'm okay with, because I fly all kinds of aircraft, drones, and so on without any GPS assistance. So I figured I could handle whatever was going to happen. What I didn't think was going to happen was, in this case, when I kept on getting these warning weak GPS reception, fly with caution. So I said, yeah, I'll fly with caution, unless, like I usually do, and that's happened many times with my Phantom 3, and it just enters into attitude mode and you fly it manually, and that's no big deal. But in this case, what happened, as it got to a point where it felt like it didn't have enough GPS reception, is that from flying in tripod mode, where I'm at now, where it has a maximum speed of about 2 miles per hour, it jumped into sport mode and tried to just fly off in random direction. And we're coming up on that here shortly, and I will put it into a slow motion so that you can get the grasp of it here. So here we go, slow motion, 1/3 speed, and you can see it pitch forward, and we're now flying at about 21 miles per hour, and then it's going to fly straight into these cliffs over here and spin itself around, flip over, and wind up in the creek in about 2 inches of water. So it really wasn't totally submerged. Its feet were sticking up out of the air, and you could see the water there. So after we retrieved it, we went back into the picnic area of the park, and I broke out my little SEMA X5 that I have all-in-one FPV camera mounted on top of it, put on my new goggles, the Cyclops Diversity DVR goggles, and decided I'd fly around a little bit in the park, just so that the entire trip wasn't a waste. And there's a lot of things to do. It was fairly breezy and windy, which is not good for the SEMA, which is so light. I don't even think it weighs a half a pound, maybe not even that, more in the ounces or grams range. But we managed to fly it around. You can see the shadow of the SEMA, and it still moves around. We're flying dead into the wind in this position right here, and that pathway that you see leads back to the picnic area where I was seated. And we're going to fly along here over the tops of these cars in the parking lot area. Everybody was out on the trails looking for things to look at. There's the Hell Hollow sign that we saw at the beginning of the video. These little flashes and interruptions of the video, they really don't bother you that much when you're flying FPV. You sort of get used to them, and it's kind of be expected when you're running a very low power transmitter back to reception, and you're back in the woods somewhere. So we got out here and we turned it around and see that pathway there. I've got to fly down that pathway between the trees. And you can see me overcorrecting for the wind that's trying to toss the little SEMA X5 around. But anyways, just thought we'd get this short video up and let you see the dangers of flying the DJI Spark when it enters into a low number of GPS satellite count. You can see me just beyond this wood pile sitting at the picnic table there with my goggles on. Thanks for stopping by and watching the video. Leave a comment if you feel so inclined, and we'll catch you again soon in one of the next videos.